Okay.
Well, I forgot on one I was recording trying to do. It's harder when you're doing it.
We shall hit record. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to dive into these core values. So I have a sign right here, or else I'd quiz you guys again on what the core values are. But I don't know if the people on the screen can even see that, but I certainly can't see it in my preview. But oh yeah, you can see it for sure. Boom. All right. Here we go. First core value on the list, ambitious. So let me just start with this. What does that mean to you guys in terms of your real estate career? What does you with the ambitious core value, like what does that practically mean? You don't have to define it, just like for your life, you know, when I tell people I'm ambitious, I prove that with this that I do in my life. Like what does that mean for you guys?
Doing deals more than everybody else and beating Dave up.
So Gigi says doing deals, closing more deals than everyone else, and specifically beating Dave Humphreys. Okay, sounds good. That's great. I love it.
I feel like ambitious can be kind of a negative thing in my mind, as far as like meaning like biting off more than I can chew, or trying to help someone like more than they're able to help themselves.
Sure. That's great. I mean, that's a great idea. Mark says it means I want to kick ass and take names. I think that's probably
Specifically
true.
buyer and seller names?
Specifically take names of buyers and sellers. Yeah, that's fun. That's great. Yeah, what else?
For me, I can be just what's up next, just go to the next thing, and have a more just like a realistic goal. But so ambitious helps me make three-year goals, 5-year goals, be looking towards those, have goals related to retirement, have goals related to house projects that all require money. I'm so staying ambitious with goal, not just hitting what I need, but what if this was awesome? What would that be? Like go after what's awesome instead of just what I need.
Yeah. So a different way that I put that is instead of setting goals as future predicting, it's actually like budgeting for growth, like challenging what's possible, like what would actually be possible 3 years from now, versus just saying, well, if I just keep doing what I've always done, I'll probably be here 3 years from now. That sounds good, right? Yeah, that's good. That's good. It challenges your 3-year goals.
It's a better way to stay fighting more than I can chew.
Yeah, sure.
What is it? Playing to win, not playing not to lose.
Yes, that's good.
Sure.
Yep. Playing to win, not playing not to lose. Another thing that was said at a KW conference in the past 2 years, I'm not sure which one it was, they said sometimes you're winning so slowly that you're actually losing. And so I think that's the idea of if you just kind of put it on cruise control at just kind of your normal growth and like I'm good, you will win so slowly that you'll actually be losing. Why? Because everyone else is winning faster and you're losing ground, right? And so like for me, that's why my goal is not to be the best team in this office. That's why my goal is not even to be the best team in Colorado. That's not my competition, you know? And so like, I set it way higher than that, because if my goal is to be top team in Colorado, then like I put it on cruise control by the end of next year. We're there, you know, like that's not what I'm trying to do. And so yeah, I think that's an example of that. That's good. Yeah. What else do you guys think from that perspective? Ambitious. What does it mean for you?
I think it's really just like creating, almost on the same thing, but like creating the life that you want, right? Like being ambitious enough. Like I was talking to somebody the other day about how like most like older folks are like mad at us for like following our dreams, right? And like we didn't really get to do that.
Sure, you know? They hate millennials.
And so like being mad at us that we can make money like we're doing random things that we do now. You know what I mean? So I think it's just for me too, it's like creating the life that I want by any means possible.
Yep.
I think just to second what you're saying is that you're also, looking for the next opportunity. You're not just closed off, like you're saying, like just whatever it is, like by any means necessary. Well, what pops up that makes that opportunity there?
Yeah. So for me, like I've thought a lot about the ambitious. The ambitious is kind of like what you guys are saying, like challenging what's possible. It's setting goals. Like what I want to see for someone on the team is basically like that they're always looking for more in some regards. Like what their happiness is growth, not like that they've arrived somewhere. And so when I meet with people, I interview people. if someone basically gives me some version of, well, my 3-year target is basically, as long as I'm just still doing what I'm doing now, that sounds great. Like that's not a good fit for the team. Not a good fit for what we're looking for. And I'm not saying that everyone needs to have that mindset. There are people, like, and I think this is important for us to understand the difference. Like, if your happiness is, and we were talking about this the other day, right? If your happiness is where you're at right now, that's fine. I don't feel like you need to have a bigger ambition, but we're just probably not going to get along. like you're just not my tribe. Like, we're just not going to run together. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't make sense to me, but it makes sense for you, and that's fine. You know.
Also, don't complain about the situation you're in.
Exactly. Like, if you're happy and you're not complaining, listen. Like, when I first got out of college, I worked for the government, like the state of Missouri, and that is like the opposite of ambition. Like, if you want to work for the government, like literally people that work for people that work for the state of Missouri, it was like, if you just want to like get a salary and health benefits and just cruise until you're retired, like that's the place to go. And like it is the maximum place of like, you can basically get assigned 2 hours of work for your 40-hour work week, and then everything else is just you doing nothing. Literally, like, it's a thing. You have to learn how to take more time to do a task, because or else you'll be too bored. Yeah, to be inefficient.
I think ambition is not being complacent.
Yeah.
And not being happy with being stagnant in your life.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No complacency. I think that's good. There's a caveat that goes along with this, and it is there is such thing as like just the danger of like relentlessly wanting more than what you have, and so like I think that there's a good in being driven to have more, but someone that is truly ambitious, someone that is too ambitious, is not going to pause and celebrate, like and like celebrate the wins. And so that's something that we have to do a good job of, is pausing and celebrating the wins. Because you're just so committed to the future. You're so much like, well, screw this, I want that. Well, yeah, now I have that, screw that, I want this, right? And so there's some of that that's positive, that's healthy, that's driving you, and at the same time, you need to, you need to celebrate that. And then the other thing I will just challenge you guys is, I feel really strongly that your ambition can't just be like self-centered. Your ambition has to have something to do with others, or else it's going to be really, really empty. Like, and so like, no matter who you talk to, no matter what their belief system is, like they'll say like, I need to make my big why about others, or else like it's empty, you know? And so even Bill Gates at this point, like giving billions and billions and billions of dollars annually to like this foundation now. That's all he does all day, every day. Him and his wife is this foundation they do. To just help others and do other causes, because they just got to a point where it was like literally, you know, I can't keep making it about me, so they started making it about others. And so there's plenty of examples like that. Okay, so ambition. So that's what that is. So the other caveat I'll say, like my challenge to you guys is one, ambition is not just the goals you set for yourself. It's not just saying 100,000. It's not just saying I'm on more than 100,000. It's the ambitious way in which you chase those goals as well. So anyone can have big dreams, right? Anyone can say, I want to make 100,000. Anyone can say, I want to be a millionaire. Anyone can say, I want to buy that house up in the hills. But that's in a lyric, sorry. If you buy a house in the hills, sorry. I could not say it. But it's also just proving that with your work as well. And so like, if I dare to have what very few people have, then I need to dare to work like very few people will work, right? And that's why I think it's so important to find yourself in your 20%. Because if you can't find yourself doing a job that you love, using your strengths for a big reason that you're really tied into, you will never give the effort like you need to give the effort. Like you need to love what you're doing, or else you're not going to be able to physically give the effort or sustain, you know. And maybe you'll be able to give effort for a short amount of time, but not for a long period.
I hear a Zig Ziglar quote.
Zig Ziglar.
Live like no one else, you can live like no one else.
Yep, there you go. Live
Oh,
like no one
birthday
else, you
yesterday.
can live like no one else. There you go.
We like Zig Ziglar here.
So there you go. So
We have his book.
So-
Quotes.
yeah, so I think specifically like this shows up in a lot of different areas, but client focused, what it looks like is I'm never just kind of telling a client, yeah, that's not going to be possible. Or like, yeah, that's not going to happen. You know, like, I think there's a way in which we don't ever say that's not worth my time, or we never go like, oh, you're looking for a detached home or 250,000, like, this is never going to happen. So you should probably just stop that. You know what I mean? There are times where we have realistic conversations with them, but I think our ambition shows up in letting them know, like, I'm not going to be that buyer's agent that's just going to set you up on an e-alert and then just stop and that's it. I'm going to be willing to check in, to go look for properties. Like, in order to be a true fiduciary, I'm going to go chase what I need to chase in order to help you find what you're looking for, right? And so I think that's kind of how ambition shows up with clients. How would you guys also suggest ambition shows up with clients? Like, how would we say, like, man, this is the way I can pitch my ambition to a client to show them that I'm unique.
How to pitch ambition?
Yeah, so how are you using that, like that I'm ambitious, to show a client why you're unique and why they should work with you? What does that practically mean?
I would say, like, practically is if they're looking in a specific area, right? Don't just look on the MLS, look through like Zillow, or like tell them, right? Like, I'm not just looking at homes that are on the market, I'm looking at homes that are off the market. I'm calling through this neighborhood and door knocking through this neighborhood to find you the house that you want.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right, and then I think to add to that would be, well, we also have like over 200 agents in our office that are, not advertising those, in a neighborhood, but they're advertising in our office, like, hey, there's a pocket listing coming soon, and I let them know what you're looking for. I put that out there so that they know, if they have a match for that or whatever.
I think sometimes we can also help our clients be ambitious with our buyer appointment script. Like, when I have that first section, which is like, let's just talk about your dream property. I'm not trying to limit you. I'm not trying to like say this or this is impossible. Just tell me everything you would love in like your perfect property. And especially at the end where we're like, anything else, anything else, anything else. A lot of times when you ask those questions, basically what you're saying is there anything else you haven't told me that you don't really think is possible, but like you might just want to mention? And we can help our clients be more ambitious by saying, like, what are you looking for? Well, what else would be perfect? What else would be perfect? So a lot of times our clients need their mind to be open and be like, oh, you don't think this is possible? This is possible. Like, I just had a client email me this morning and say, so I assume I need at least $8,000 VA client. I assume I need at least $8,000 saved to buy a property. Just trying to figure out how much longer until I have that money saved up. And I'm like, no, like, you could buy a property with $1,000 down. Let's figure this out, And so sometimes they need help being more ambitious than what they are.
Well, and I think too, like, if they can't buy that forever home now, letting them know in that conversation that that's an amazing home, let's see what else we can find that matches that as much as possible in your price range. And did you know that in 2 years, if you did decide you wanted to move up, you made some improvements, this kind of thing, that you could move to a bigger property down the road, with equity or whatever.
Yeah, and sometimes it's, hey, I know you're looking to buy sell. Have you thought about keeping and rent it and then buying the next one, like creating a rental property for yourself, helping them to think ambitiously that way, or have you thought about investment property? Oh yeah, Sarah also says, like, another way this could show up is, hey, I'm going to get the deal done no matter what. And so, like, maybe that means being willing to give a credit or provide a warranty or help make the deal work. I'm ambitious enough that I'm going to figure out a way to make this work, right? And I do think that ambitious, there's also some optimism to that as well. Ambitious, there's also some optimism in saying, listen, we're going to figure this deal out. We're going to figure out how to make it work. There's a lot of people who kind of think, man, at the first sign of something going wrong, they're like, yeah, this isn't going to work. Like, we're just going to have to cancel. This is not going to work. And so I think ambition dares to think optimistically about the deal and say, I will figure this out. We'll find a way. Right?
Ambitious is dare to think optimistically about the deal. I really like that. I think that really sums it up because right now, I've got a deal that might cancel because of the foundation, but we did all of this external beyond the scope of the inspection to get like the answers that we needed so that we could make the right objection that they felt comfortable with. Whether or not they decide to resolve to that or not is whatever, but she was super happy that I went to that extra length and I was ambitious about, going that extra. Will you repeat what I?
Yeah, well, so I'll put it more simply. I think that ambition is allowing yourself to think optimistically, and daring to believe that that's possible. Like that whatever you just thought about is possible. The first step is just allowing yourself to think optimistically, like literally just allowing yourself to go, I'm going to think beyond just what's the next step. I'm going to allow myself to even dream bigger, and then daring to believe that those dreams are possible, and then you can go chase those. So first step, being ambitious, is just dreaming, right? I found that a lot, even like with working with you guys, like, and talking about 3-year goals and stuff like that. A lot of my job is to help you guys even think bigger than what you're thinking. Like a lot of you guys are just like, man, that's awesome. And I'm like, I don't know, that's more than possible. What about this? You know? And so as long as you're committed to thinking that way, then great. Okay, let's move on. That's ambition. Entrepreneurial. Okay. What does entrepreneurial mean for you guys? What do you guys think? Entrepreneurial. Entrepreneurial.
Sounds like some type of plan almost.
Entrepreneurial. Yeah.
Sort of perennial.
Yeah. Perennial. Entrepreneurial. Yeah. What does entrepreneurial mean for you guys? What do you guys think? Specifically as it kind of relates to our context, or like just for you as an entrepreneur within our business, what does that mean?
Taking ownership.
Taking ownership. That's good.
Like,
what does that mean practically?
So taking ownership in the deal, like your responsibility to be the fiduciary for your client. If I make a mistake, for me to own up to my own mistakes, because this is my business, they are my clients. And even though we do let things go to the TC, still making sure that our clients are still being communicated with properly and they're getting what they need. You know what I mean? Like it's still our deal, even though we have multiple leverage points.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Yeah. Basically, if you guys ever call me and say, this thing happened, is it my fault? The answer's going to be yes. But it's also my fault. And, you know, and it might be someone else. It might be someone else's fault too. Come on, geez, you should have been there.
We're waiting for the fire hydrant.
Yeah, maybe not everything is your fault. That's a good point, too. Maybe not everything, but you know, like there's been plenty of situations like, man, like the listing agent listed it as FHA eligible, so we wrote an offer, and we're 3 weeks in, and now they're saying it's not FHA eligible. Is it my fault?
Check it out.
Should have checked it. You know, like, and so, yeah. So, and I totally agree, Bridget. It's like, yeah, TC might drop the ball on something, but like ultimately, I'm an owner and I'm owning it. You know, that's a good idea. Yeah, what else? Entrepreneurial. What does that mean?
I think before you even get to the deal part, there's a lot that needs to happen
Yeah.
for an entrepreneur to
Yeah.
get there.
Yeah.
So, and just knowing if you're not gonna think outside the box or put in the time and effort, not work evenings, weekends, I think it's like you're just gonna be rich
Yeah.
when you get licensed.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Sure.
So your kind of thought process is entrepreneurial mindset also shows up in like your schedule and the way that you work. Like I think like a business owner, not like an employee. An employee wants to leave at 3 p.m. on a Friday. A business owner's like, I'll be here till 8 if I need to be. You know.
Right.
That's good.
She's always.
I'd say coming up with new ways to achieve your goal.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't always work out the way you want it to, and so you have to sometimes research at different possibilities.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, I think that's a necessity in owning a goal at a high level. And so like if you're truly entrepreneurial minded, you own the goal. You make sure it happens no matter what. It's not, well, like I just didn't get the good Boomtown leads this month. I'm just not going to close the deals I want. Or I did an open house, but just no one showed up. It's like, okay, well, what's a new way I can do it? Or maybe I need to try this other thing. Or maybe I just need to do more of it or whatever, right? And so being willing to do that then means there's no excuse for never hitting the goal. Because I'm willing to do anything in order to get there. That's good. That's good.
But I think she said something good too, like learning based.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that you're willing to continue your education so that you can hit those goals.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so like entrepreneurs do that.
Yeah. I can't remember if I've told you guys this or not. I use it in almost every onboarding or interview now, but it's my metaphor that I've created for what an entrepreneur on the team looks like. And the idea is that basically in your real estate journey, what we are telling you to do is we're saying, all right, here's a big lake. And what we need you to do is row to the other side of the lake. And so what Relevate's going to do is we're going to give you a boat. We're going to get everything you need. We're going to give you the paddles and everything. Here you go. Hop in and row to the other side of the lake. What inevitably is going to happen, though, is the boat we gave you has some holes in it. And so when you get halfway across, water starts to come into the boat. If you are not entrepreneurial, what do? The boat sinks. You like swim back to our side, and we're like, what happened? They're like, well, we got almost halfway there, but the boat you gave me had holes in it, and so I couldn't make it across. If you're entrepreneurial, that boat starts to have holes in it, and you're like, start to figure it out. You paddle faster, you start plugging the holes with your toes. I don't know what you're doing. You're like, you're figuring it out, right? You're like, hey, you told me just to paddle across. You didn't tell me about these holes, but I'm still going to make it across and taking ownership of the fact that, and then when you get across, it's the, man, thank you so much for giving me that boat. It got me, halfway there, like, and so for me, that's that new, like, metaphor I've been using for entrepreneurial, because I think that it really communicates, like, within your real estate business or within your clients or whatever. It's like, if something happens outside of the norm, it's just taking ownership to go, like, whether this is my fault or not, I can fix it, like, and trying to figure out how to fix it. So, my wife said something to me when we first got married that I held to this day. She's like, a lesson she learned in college from somebody, I forget who it was, is basically like, never ever say that's not my job. Never ever say that phrase is not my job. I'm sure it's someone from CLO.
That's Dale Henry, motivational speaker.
Oh, okay.
Dale Henry.
Okay. So someone, but she said it was really big offer, like, never say it's not my job, right? And so, like, I'm walking around here, like, the Keurig is empty. Like, I'm not gonna say that's not my job. You know what I mean? Like, there's trash on the floor. I'm not gonna say that's not my job. Someone walks in with a package. I'm gonna go talk to them. I'm not gonna say that's not my job. You know what I mean? And so I think that there's a way that you can do that in your real estate business. Never say it's not my job. I'm an owner. It's like, if you own a McDonald's, like, how often do you see owners of, like, restaurants sweeping the floor? Like, because they own it at that level to where, like, they'll do whatever they need to. Every time I feel like a fast food owner in there, they're doing, like, they're answering the window, or they're, like, helping the drive-thru. They're doing whatever needs to be done, right? Like, as a manager for Starbucks, like, I'm sure there's times where you're taking out the trash because that's what needs to get done, and so that's kind of thinking owner-wise. Sarah says, small business owners are survivors, so that really makes sense. Building a business is one of the hardest things you can do. If you make it, you have a survivor entrepreneurial attitude. Yeah, it's kind of a survivor mindset. I like that. That's good. So for your clients, what does this mean for your clients? Saying I'm entrepreneurial, I think what you said can directly apply. Now it's going to follow the system. If it takes a new way, I'm going to find a new way to get there. I mean, that's a great way to think. What else do you guys think? I'll challenge and say, like, it's making their goals mine too. Like, I'm going to own your goals. And so, like, I'm not just going to say, like, well, you didn't find something you like, so we're not going to buy a property. It's like, no, I'm going to own helping you find that property. I'm going to own helping, or it was a great property, but you just didn't make up your mind, so you didn't write an offer. No, I'm going to own having that conversation. This fits your criteria. Why are you not offering? It's helping them to own the process with them, to help them get there. I think that's part of it. Like, I'm going to own your goals too. We're going to work on this together. I'm going to make sure it gets done. I'm going to be a co-owner in this. What else? What do you guys think? Entrepreneur. And in the same way, that's how we feel about your guys' business, right? Like, I want to come in and be a joint business owner. Like, you're hiring me to be, like, a co-owner of your business. It's like, I want to own it at that level, where I figure out what do I need to do, what do I need to give you so that I can make sure you're succeeding, right? We have the same mindset for agents. Cool. Anything else on entrepreneurial? Okay. Collaborative. What does that mean for you guys? Collaborative.
No I in team.
There's no I in team.
I think it's working together, right, to get the deal done or get your goals met, right? Because I know there's some people that are good at, like, open houses, or good at boot camp meets, or good at something, right? So if you're struggling with somebody or something, you can collab with anybody on the team, or if you want to join open house, or if you're like, hey, has anybody had this happen before? 9 times out of 10, somebody on the team has had it happen.
Yeah.
I like our team because we're all very different personalities, but we have the same goals. So, like, when I need a more aggressive answer, I'll go to Gigi. If I need a less aggressive answer,
You want to do it the right way.
yeah, like, you just kind of get everybody's opinion.
Yeah.
And it really helps you make the best decisions for your business and elevate it to a level.
Yeah.
So, something that the people that I don't think succeed are the ones that just kind of hang out in their own bubble. They think their way's the right way.
Yeah.
And then also the outdated metro brokers that we all work with.
Mhm.
Like, their way's the right way. Like,
Yeah.
so, and that just, you get outdated pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And if you don't keep up with it, you'll be outdated too.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
oh,
I think that's cool. This is a good point, because, like, in the very beginning, when it was just like a few of us,
I know that like, if I wanted to like have something really actually like work out, I would go to Tyler. But if I wanted like somebody to tell me straight and like what like I need to do, it would be Matt. Matt would be like, do. You give them an 8-hour acceptance deadline.
It's about.
They'll be mad at you the rest of the deal.
I mean, you
Okay.
you end up somewhere in the middle of the
Right.
like, you're putting all these things together.
But you make it your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, you collect your ideas from everybody.
Yeah.
And you just modify it. Make it your own.
Yeah, I would say that having 3 owners and being forced to collaborate is one of the hardest and the best probably parts of Relevate for me. It's like I have to get on the same page. There's 2 guys that are very opposite personalities of me. We're all 3 different personalities, but us being forced to collaborate and get on the same page definitely makes Relevate better. You know, instead of me just
Yeah.
being able to run with whatever dumb idea I have. You know, yeah. So can't stop, won't stop.
Well, I mean, like right now, like we're collaborating on what this means. Like I like, you know, that we get to do that, you know, on several different occasions and,
Yeah.
and I do think it makes the team better. I think it makes us stronger as team members as a whole.
Yeah.
So we get to hear what other people are thinking about things. It helps us learn and grow, you know, because, you know, like you said, other perspectives make your perspective better.
Yeah, I think you put it well, Natalia. Like the one thing I want to say about this is that we are ambitious. We are entrepreneurial. That means that we're owners. We're individualistic. We're driven. So we will put our head down and just go do it. But this team, we're not a team to just be a bunch of different islands. We're here to work together and to collaborate. To understand that we're all in it together. We're all, you know, chasing. We all kind of the same goals, like Natalia said. And so, like, we want to collaborate. I think, so practically within the team, what this looks like is, I think Gigi's a great example of this. She does this a lot on Slack, wherever you'll be like, hey, I just sent out this text. It worked for me. Use it with your people. Like, she doesn't have to do that. She can just send out her text and be like, I don't know why you guys aren't converting Boomtown leads, but I'm over here getting what I need done. And so, you know, she doesn't have to share with us her best practices for Op City stuff, but she's like, hey, it's working for me. Let me explain that. And so I think that's a great example, you know, of that is collaborating, just saying, hey, this is winning for me, let me share. And then also being humble enough to go and just ask someone. If you know they're great at something, like go and ask them, you know, like go talk to this other person you know is killing it at that. Just figure it out, you know, like with your clients, I think the primary thing here is just being humble enough to say, one of the best things about you working with me is that I'm on a team. We collaborate. We have years and years of experience, people who are experts in every different field, different personalities, different approaches. So you get a whole team behind you of experience and personalities. If there's ever anything I feel uncomfortable about or unsure about, I got a team full of people where someone knows it, knows the answer. And I think when you're able to tell someone that, that's really my value proposition. There's 2 ways you can have a value proposition for collaborating. One is that I collaborate with a team full of awesome people that are all above average producers that we can come together and give you our opinion. But then also letting the client know, similar to the entrepreneurial, we're going to collaborate together on your goals and dreams. It's not just going to be you. I'm going to be working with you to get done what needs to get done.
Well, and you know, with saying that, I do ask them like, just you know, everything you tell me is confidential. So like for you to share with me and us to work this out together about like what's the most important thing for you. Like if you need a grow house in your garage, tell me because that's going to help me help you.
Yeah.
Like help me help you.
Yeah. Let's talk about it. Yep, for sure. Anything else you guys would say, like the collaborative core value and how you present that to clients, just in terms of that as a value proposition?
I just feel that the kind of the same thing that you just said, but you gave me like almost like a sound bite last time we were talking about it, and I use it all the time, which is like, you know, when I go through the whole thing, it's just like, hey, so I'm on a team. What that means is that you're never limited by my schedule. It also doesn't mean that you're going to be passed around to, you know, a million different people, but say I'm busy or I'm on vacation, something, then I have a showing assistant to help you. And if you have questions about contracts and I'm not available, I have a transaction coordinator, so who's always going to be to answer your questions. And I feel like that really.
Yeah, I agree.
And it sets precedent of like,
oh no, but I can also have my showing assistant.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay.
Sets it from the beginning. I'm not always gonna be the
Right.
person there,
Right.
but I am always your main point of contact, and yeah, I agree. I use that in every appointment, for sure. Awesome. Okay, collaborative. That's collaborative. Let's talk about the fourth one, integrity. So I'm just gonna give kind of a caveat here about integrity.
He's all like,
I feel like integrity is something that a lot of people kind of feel like they have to say they have. Like, I feel like integrity is one of those like mandatory core values. Like, I gotta throw in there that I also have integrity. And I think that's also why you see a lot of people talk about integrity and not really have integrity. So beyond just the surface, like, what does integrity actually mean for you practically? Like, what does it mean for you in your business? Like, the fact that you have integrity, what do you do differently than other people in given situations?
doing what you say you're gonna do.
Being true to your word.
Yeah.
That's big. Yeah, and that's simple. That's not necessarily like, it's not maybe the first thing you think of when you think of integrity. It's maybe not the first thing you think of, like, I'm always going to do the right thing in every situation. It's like, no, like, one way I'm going to have integrity is when I tell you something, like, I'm going to actually do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. That's good.
For me, it's not being pleased with just like the bare minimum that my client is asking for.
Mhm.
Like on final walkthrough, it just happened up in Greeley for my clients. The guy scraped up the ground with the treadmill, moving it out,
Mm.
and my people were like, you know what, if this keeps us from closing, don't push it.
Mm.
So I asked for $1,000 more in concessions and got it for them.
Mm.
So I was like, hey, I know you said don't touch it, but I needed to touch it because I just can't let things
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, you're like that boyfriend, like when you say I'm fine and I say I'm fine, but you just don't let it go. And I was like, yeah, except I did a good job.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, except I'm good.
Yeah, so like now, I mean, I hope they're gonna be my people for life, but I just wasn't, I felt like I just didn't want to go.
So would you say that's like doing the right thing?
Yeah.
I would say so.
Yeah. Well, so,
Even though they told me not to.
yeah.
So, you know what I mean, like for me
Yeah.
to take a note.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll use another example from your business, but I think it's the same thing. So Natalia had this inspection objection where the inspection report came back, and there was some pretty like stuff. This is pretty major stuff on there, like the client should handle. And the client said, "I'm good. I don't have any objections." And Natalia called me. She just didn't feel good about it. And she was like, "They say they don't have any objections, but I feel like they should have some objections." And we kind of walked through the report. And so Natalia basically pushed back and said, like, no, you should object. And here's some things you should object to. And she objected, and they got some stuff fixed, right? And so, like, that's kind of what you're saying. Like, I'm not just going to be okay with the bare minimum. Like, integrity is like, even though you said you're good, I'm going to try to figure out if you're actually good, you know?
Yeah, so buyers, because they hear seller's market, they think that they're not gonna be able to get anything. And I just keep hearing that more and more recently, and then these people are like, well, I don't have anywhere to live, so I just need to do this, and I'll just take care of it myself. And like, yeah, they say that now, but also like down the road, they're gonna be like, you should have helped me, blah, blah, blah. So
Yeah.
now I'll go above and beyond so that I always show that I'm good and your fiduciary. So-
And I think there's another version of that might be even a little bit harder. And you know how I say, like, when you show a client a perfect property and they don't want to offer, you're like, why are you not offering? Well, the opposite of that also needs to be true. So like I have a perfect example of a client who said, the main reason I'm doing this is because I need cheaper monthly liabilities. Like, I'm doing this Financial Peace University with Dave Ramsey. I'm trying to get smart financially, so I need to use a conventional loan and move out of FHA, and I need a cheaper property. Well, she came across a property she loved, but it was going to be more expensive. And she's like, I like it. I want to write an offer. And so I could have said, like, awesome, higher commission for me. Like, let's get this done. But instead, I just like challenged her a little bit and said, okay, so when we talked initially, you were wanting cheaper monthly payment. Are you good with kind of upgrading and making that your priority versus cheaper monthly payment? And she's like, oh, you're right. You know, and so she didn't end up offering. And so you need to be able to have that conversation too, of like, you told me this, and now you want to move forward, and this is the opposite of that. Now, if your priorities have changed, let me know, because I'll sign up for, you just decided quality of life is my bigger thing right now. That's fine. That can be your goal. It doesn't have to be smarter financially, but let's just make sure that that's actually the right thing. You know? So you know when to do that. Anything else for integrity and what it means for you guys? Those are great examples, I think, from business, but anything else? Integrity.
So would that be like when you're talking to the client and you're saying like, look, I'm gonna challenge you on a couple of things because I just wanna make sure that I'm respecting your goals and your priorities? Is that You know, like I'm gonna always ask you if you're sure. I'm not trying to doubt you. I just want to make sure I'm understanding. So that's how, because I do say that to my clients to let them know when we walk into a house, they're like, this house is awful or whatever it is said, or I love it. You know, like, are you sure?
Yeah.
Because I want to do the right thing. So by saying that.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, that's a great example of a couple of these core values combining. That's a good example of you co-owning their goals to the point where you're like, no, we're co-owners in this, and you said this, and so I don't think we're on the same page. You know, that's a good example of collaborative integrity and entrepreneurial, like, working together, I think.
I think it's like integrity is just really holding up your fiduciary responsibilities right to the highest level, as opposed to, I'm sure there's a range of like, yeah, this is okay in my responsibilities, but I could be up here with this, you know, and I think it should be there.
Yep, and so the way that we've summed it up in this statement, which I think sums a lot of what you guys are saying, is for Relevate, integrity means we don't take the easy way out. The easy way out is just saying, okay, fine, no objections. Okay, fine, I'll write that offer. You know, okay, fine, like I'll just move forward with the bare minimum. But not taking the easy way out is, all right, I just need to stop for a second and ask you these questions because this, you know. Or taking the easy way out is, I could probably not tell the client that bad news, maybe, you know, like avoiding the tough conversation is taking the easy way out, you know. Sometimes those tough conversations you just got to go have. So, integrity, I think that's good. That's great. Not settling for the bare minimum, that's really, really good. Okay, last one, serve. You guys think? What does serve mean for you guys? Sorry, actually, before we go there, integrity. How do you communicate this to your client and not just sound like you're saying the same thing that everyone else says? How do you communicate? I have integrity, which I feel like no one said that because that's
I think
weird.
you just prove it.
Yeah, sure. You think you just did it? Is there a way to sell like?
I think it's just having that conversation that we were just talking about, right? Which is like, okay, so you're telling me all these things, right? Because you've gone through and you're like, and what else would make this great? What else would make this great? Whatever, right? And then you're in a house and they hate it. And you're like, or they love it, right? And you're like, well, you said you needed 3 bedrooms, who has 2 and like this small office type area, like really just owning, like being that co-owner of their goals, right?
Yeah. Well, I think like, again, there's also that, how do I sell this to a client up front? And I think the way that I can sell it to them is like, one thing you just need to know is that I'm not going to take the easy way out. Like, if I have bad news to deliver, I'm going to deliver the bad news to you. You know, like if there's some tough conversation that needs to be had, I'm going to have the tough conversation. Like, I'm never going to take the easy way out. I'm going to make sure, like, and then, or maybe take the approach of what Gigi said. Like, what you need to know about me is if I say something, I'm going to do it. You know, and so like I'm a woman of my word, or a man of my word, and I'm going to do what I say.
And I'll say, like, adding to that, like, I would rather under promise and over deliver, because I want to make sure that, you know, if I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And if I have to go a little bit above and beyond, that's awesome. Like, I want to do that for you. But at the same time, like, if I say I'm going to do something, you can count on it.
I take that approach a lot with sellers. Like when I'm working through the numbers, I try to just overestimate like what the costs are going to be, you know, underestimate what they're going to make, so that like, and I say that phrase a lot. Like I'd rather just overestimate, you know, and then have you have less costs than the other way around.
Right.
That's good. That's good. Okay, serve. So last one. So what does this core value practically look like in your business? What are maybe some examples of it in your business, or what it means for you? What does it look like? Serve.
I think it's really kind of going above and beyond of what a normal real estate agent or team would do, right? So like a couple of my listings need to be like deep cleaned, right? And so we just have cleaners go out there and deep clean them before photos and stay in communication and really just do the best you can for them so that their house is in the best light possible, right? And I feel like that's based on what we got.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's anticipating needs before they arise.
Yeah.
That's good.
That comes from my serving years.
Mhm.
Drilled into my head. So, yeah.
You know how that like ruins your out to eat experience almost every time somewhere else you go, and you're like, you didn't notice my water was empty, like 5 times you came back to the table.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah. So in your mind, there's service, but there's reactive and proactive service. There's reactive in the sense of like, you told me something and then I did it, versus like, I aim to serve in the sense that I want to proactively figure out what the needs are and get out ahead of them. That's great. That's good. Yeah, what else from the serve perspective?
And maybe being a part of the community.
Sure, could be that too. Yep. Yep, like serving in your community, like outside of just your clients, but service there. I think the serve is a hard one because it's the balance between me trying to help you guys, like, I want to help you guys be smart with your time. I want to help you guys, like, do like the smart things in your business, not like always do something crazy or something extra. But sometimes the serve is just doing that something crazy or that something extra. You know, maybe it's like, can't get a cleaning company out there, so I got to go clean this place myself. You know, like I've done that before. You know, like they're not available, so I'm going to go do this for them, or they need this extra thing done, or whatever. You know, like there's some.
Painting a house.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think that it goes in with some of these other things, but like serve, in my opinion, like the statement we use is we make others' goals our own, and so this is that core value of you know, I figure out what you're looking for, what your needs are, what your goals are, and then I'm going to make that my goals too. You know, and I'm gonna commit myself fully to that. Do what needs to be done. You know.
Yeah, I like do what needs to be done because I mean that goes a lot with the entrepreneurial part of it, where it's like they need their house painted, nobody's coming out, this has to get done, let's do it, let's all pitch in. You know, because if it is something that they need, you go above and beyond in the service. You know, it's like how do you react to that? Like, do you just brush it off, or do you actually go out there and pitch in?
Yeah. It was interesting. I'm reading this book, Extreme Ownership, or I just finished the book, Extreme Ownership, and it talks about some Navy SEALs and kind of leadership lessons from their time, like running certain divisions and stuff. But they said for a leader, when a leader is doing a mission, if a leader is up front, if a leader is at the front of the pack, they tend to they're too involved in like clearing the rooms and like the nuances of like what it takes to be first, that they can't anticipate others' needs. If they're in the back, they're too far back, they don't know what's happening up front. And so like the smartest place for a leader of a platoon and like the Navy or the Navy SEALs is right in the middle, because they can see what's happening up front. They're not too far back, they're right in the middle of the action. And I think serve is also, it also calls out like servant leadership as an agent. And so what that means is I don't just lead from the front. I don't just tell you what to do, but I dive into it with you. I'm doing it with you. I'm willing to jump in and say, all right, we need to go do this, right? It's not saying, well, you need to go figure that out. You need to go figure out that with that bank or that with something else. It's, all right, what can we do to get this moving forward, right? There's a lot of times where you can just try to put something on your client's plates, or you could work with them to say, well, what can I do? What can you do so we can get this done together? So I think that's good.
Isn't there like a part of the contract, the buyer and seller agreement as far as brokerage duties? Isn't there a section in there that says to obey your client, like what they want or something?
I don't know the specific wording, but yeah, there's something in the fiduciary.
That basically states kind of like a servitude kind of thing.
Yeah. I'm fiduciary, I'm working for you, basically. You know, I'm supposed to with some limitations, supposed to do what you ask, basically.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think this is, this can be communicated along with some of the other ones in similar ways, but when I'm communicating serve to my clients, I like to say this statement, like, I make your goals my own. I'm here to do whatever it takes to make sure you get what you want. And so that's what it looks like. There's some limitations to that. You have to be smart with your boundaries and your time and stuff that you're giving. Like, you can't just give in a sane amount of time to people. There are people who will like abuse this, and you know, and they'll ask you to go look at a property, you know, a million different times. But I think ultimately you can say,
Drive by.
or they'll just go drive by, yeah. But there's a way in which you can say like, listen, I'm here to do what needs to be done in order to make sure you get what you want. So, so I think that's that. Last thing I'll say before we're done. So that's a great deep dive into all of these. I think what's important for you guys to know is the uniqueness of Relevate is how all these things combine and work together. And so how we take an entrepreneurial, collaborative, a collaborative mindset to our integrity and to our service, right? Like we serve from like an owner's mindset, right? We're ambitious, but we're ambitious with integrity. So I'm not just going to do whatever it takes to get ahead, right? And so like, and I'm entrepreneurial, but I'm entrepreneurial and collaborative. So I want to be creative. I want to own it, but I want to own it together, right? And so there's, I think just as you think about the ways in which these combine together, that's really the uniqueness of Relevate and who we are. And that's how you can communicate that to your clients. Like, listen, I'm ambitious and I'm going to do whatever it takes, but I have integrity. And so like my ambition means I'm going to do it the way that it needs to get done. You know, like I'm going to work relentlessly towards not just getting to the top, but doing it the right way, you know. And so there's ways in which you communicate that. But there you go. That's it. So like the reason I wanted to do this deep dive is not just so you guys understood, not just so you guys could see examples and be called to higher efforts in all these categories, but also you guys have a clear understanding of how to communicate this to your clients. It's important to say these things to your clients. In your first appointment, in your first conversations, make sure you have like a 30-second or a minute-long portion where you're just diving into this a little bit. And I work for a team, so that means that, you know, we have a lot of people behind, and, you know, and I'll do whatever it takes to make sure it gets the job done. You know, like have some quick 30-second elevator pitch, not 30 minutes, 30-second elevator pitch that incorporates a couple of these. So that's my advice. Thanks, guys. Thanks for contributing. We'll have a killer Thursday.
Did you get a check for County Road?
I did, thank you.
What was the amount?
No clue. Was there a DA?